Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and good afternoon, everyone. I'm pleased to welcome you all to the College of Health and Life Sciences session of the Virtual Graduate Studies Open House 2020 at Hamad bin Khalifa University for the academic year 2021-2022. So my name is Asha Al-Gahtani, Biological and Biomedical Sciences PhD student at the CHLS, and I am delighted to have this opportunity to welcome you all here today. I hope you find the event to be informative and that it helps you to guide you in your academic journey. This will be the first time that the HBKU Graduate Studies Open House is conducted online. However, rest assured that this year's event will be as comprehensive and informative as past editions and more accessible than before. Our session today aims to connect you with the Dean and faculty members to explore the unique academic and research opportunities at CHLS and learn more about the admission requirements and the student affairs. Our session is set to include the following, as we can see in the agenda. We will have the welcome message from Dr. Imad Din Shaheen, the HBKU Interim Provost. Then the college overview by Dr. Edward Stankel, the founding Dean of the College of Health and Life Sciences. Then the academic overview of the programs, starting with the program of Genomics and Precision Medicine, Biomedical and Biological Sciences, and the Masters in Exercise Sciences, presented by our faculty members at HBKU CHLS. Then we will have an overview from the admission and application team about the requirements, presented by Mr. Muhammad Al-Salat from the Enrollment Office. Then an overview on student affairs at HBKU, presented by Ms. Reem Al-Abdel Jabbar from the Student Affairs. And at the end, we will have the question and answer session. Before we begin, I would like to remind you that all lines will be muted until the end of the session. If you have any questions you would like to ask, then please kindly share them on the question and answers box, and we will follow up with a question and answer session. As you can see, you can access this from your, if you are using your laptop or PC, or from your mobile phone. You can see the three red dots, three small dots at the end, highlighted by the red arrow on the screen. And at first, I would like to start the session by playing a welcome message from Dr. Imad Din Shaheen, HBKU Interim Provost.
Dear prospective students, welcome to Hamad bin Khalifa University, HBKU, and congratulations to all of you on the first steps towards your graduate journey. My name is Imad Din Shaheen, and I'm the Interim Provost at HBKU. Let me start by introducing you to the Virtual Graduate Studies Open House 2020 website. It has been designed specifically to support you in your decisions for your next academic undertaking. The Virtual Graduate Studies Open House is an excellent opportunity for all of you who are interested in pursuing a degree in one of HBKU's exceptional graduate programs across the areas of Islamic Studies, Humanities and Social Sciences, Science and Engineering, Health and Life Sciences, Law and Public Policy. We have provided dedicated sessions throughout the week for our prospective students to thoroughly explore all of what we have to offer for a vibrant and impactful student experience. You will be able to connect with experts across HBKU who will introduce our unique academic and research opportunities for students. HBKU is a member of Qatar Foundation for Education, Science and Community Development and was founded to continue fulfilling QF's vision of unlocking human potential. As a homegrown university, we are extremely proud to be celebrating 10 years of establishment and very much look forward to welcoming you on this aspiring journey. Every student who enters the HBKU community becomes our priority to inform with the rich scholarship in the field, to enhance personal and academic capacity, and to dedicate resources to empower. Each academic offering is designed to incorporate multidisciplinary education so that you are not restricted to a single approach in your interest, but rather can delve into your research interests from multiple dimensions and engage with other disciplines within and outside the classroom. With the support of a faculty body that are leading thinkers in their field and an array of academic and research resources, we strive to empower our students to become future leaders, ones who embrace an entrepreneurial mindset, think critically, even beyond the classroom, and are always in pursuit of new solutions to national and international challenges. Our aspiration is that our graduates will confidently create a positive impact in areas that inspire them and make a difference in our world today. I wish you the best of luck in your pursuit of higher education and look forward to possibly welcoming you as our latest cohort of inspired change makers.
We would like to thank Dr. Imaduddin Shaheen for that insightful message. I would now like to invite Dr. Edward Stunkel, Founding Dean of the College of Health and Life Sciences, to give his opening remarks.
Thank you very much for the introduction. And the first thing I'd like to do is also express my welcome to all of you who are out there listening and to the introduction on the College of Health and Life Sciences. It's a real pleasure to be able to introduce the college to you and to get you energized about possibly applying to become a graduate student in the college. So now if I can, next slide. So let's begin talking a little bit about HBKU. So as was mentioned by the interim provost, HBKU is a member of Qatar Foundation. It was founded in 2000 and named after His Highness the Father Emir. The nice thing about HBKU is it's actually located on a beautiful campus and is located very closely in that way to other world-class universities. Most of those other world-class universities are focused on specific disciplines and deal with the undergraduate students. But HBKU is a graduate college primarily and is there to take students to the next level on their education and journey. The one thing about HBKU is that it is innovation-centric university that is really built on research. It is directed to solving the challenges facing Qatar and the world. And one of the things that we are really focused on is getting the best research done, energizing the students to get involved in what they want to do to solve problems, both here within Qatar and outside more globally. The other thing that's nice about HBKU is that it is a very collaborative environment and that we work together with other institutions here on campus, as well as research institutes and clinical centers. And the goal is to prepare you to be a leader in your future occupation. In that case, for us, it might be academics or as a research scientist. HBKU itself is comprised of 6 colleges. The College of Health and Life Sciences, that happens to be the one that I like because that's the one that I'm the dean of, and that's the one I'm going to try and recruit you to make your applications for. But it also has the College of Islamic Studies, Humanities and Social Sciences, Science and Engineering, Law, and Public Policy. The colleges are not only there for the instructional part and educational part, but they're also there as driving your research as either master's theses or PhD dissertations. In addition to the colleges, HBKU has excellent research institutes that are part of it. This expands on the research potential and opportunities that you have as a student. Particularly for the College of Health and Life Sciences, you have access to the Qatar Biomedical Research Institute, and we have joint faculty at that research institute with whom you can also conduct research. HBKU also has centers, the Executive Education Center, HBKU Press, and a relatively new center, but is really interesting in that it helps to support the development of innovations by students, faculty, and others across Education City. Let's see. So now let me talk a little bit more specific about the College of Health and Life Sciences. You might be sitting there thinking, why would I want to do a graduate degree in life sciences? What do I get out of it? What am I going to be when I'm done conducting my thesis research? Is it really worth all of the effort and time that I will have to put into it? Well, I think I would look back and I would say, if you look at the situation that we're in right now with COVID-19 and the pandemic, the health consequences that have been impacted both on Qatar and globally, both financial, health, the various illnesses, the comorbidities that affect some people more than others. Who is it that is really going to address this health pandemic? Well, it's the research scientists are at the front lines. We're the ones that are trying to figure out the cause, to look at the viral infection, to see how we can stop it, how we can treat people who come down with the illness, and now who is it that is actually going to create the vaccines that are hopefully going to help us solve this current pandemic? It's the research scientists, the research health scientists, and that's what you're going to help learn and become if you come to the College of Health and Life Sciences. But I don't want to make this sound like it's only pandemics that we're working for, because clearly there's type 2 diabetes, type 1 diabetes, there's health, cardiovascular diseases, stroke, lung cancer, all kinds of health challenges that we all face, either in our families or in our friends or in ourselves. And the only way to treat these and to overcome them, to define therapies, is to have research scientists who work on trying to solve those problems. So I think being a student in the College of Health and Life Sciences helps train you to develop and to understand these diseases, develop understanding on these diseases, and hopefully address therapeutics. So the College of Health and Life Sciences itself is there to advance and focused on advancing precision medicine and preventative health. So you might think of, well, if I have a certain disease, I can go to the hospital and I can get treated for it. But most drugs and most therapies are designed for the average individual. If you're not one of those average individuals, and many of us are not, then those drugs and therapies may not work very well. So what we really have to do is we have to move beyond the average individual and start individualizing the treatments, to start figuring out exactly what is the best approach to attacking the illness in each individual. And that falls in the line of precision medicine and preventative health. Now, preventative health is the other part of precision medicine, in that it's defining for an individual how you might best retain your fitness and health so that you don't fall into those devastating illnesses in the future. So that's what the College of Health and Life Sciences is really focused on. Itself, it is a hub of interactive knowledge sharing in precision medicine. We share knowledge within the college between the faculty, the students, the postdocs, but also from our joint and adjunct faculty. They also participate and help us share knowledge and educate the students. We already talked about the multidisciplinary learning approach. There is a broad spectrum of collaborative cutting-edge research opportunities. Our faculty aren't focused on one disease or one area. It's actually a broad range of different health issues and research areas that you can become involved in. It's also, the nice thing about HBKU in general, and the college also, is that it's a very open and supportive community. We all get along well. We all are there to help each other achieve success. And that's a good environment to be in. Highly collaborative, success-seeking. We also, even though we're a relatively young college, we actually have a fairly successful record of graduate training Masters of Science and PhD level students. So this is shown on this slide. We have three major categories of programs: genomics and precision medicine, biomedical and biological sciences. Those are both offered at the MS and PhD level, and then exercise science, which is offered at the MS level. So in terms of primary faculty, those within the college, we have 17 primary faculty, but you can also see that we have joint and adjunct faculty that are quite high in number and give you more research opportunities so that you can find that specific type of research that really engages you and one in which you can excel while you're here at HBKU. We have a fairly large number of students. We have 134 students, And we have graduated 49 students, 42 MS with the MS degree and 7 PhDs. The other nice thing about the college and HBKU in general is that it has a multinational perspective. It has a lot of ethnic and cultural diversity, and that is good because it brings a lot of different perspectives to each of the problems and interactions that we face. Now, so I wanted to end with this because one of the things that almost all graduate students in the health and life sciences seek to do is they seek to do research, right? That's why you come here, not to sit in classes. You come here to utilize your hands, to utilize your creative thinking, to get involved and make discoveries that people haven't seen, to publish those results and become part of the scientific community. And the nice thing about HBKU and the College of Health and Life Sciences is that the research resources are excellent. You have lots of opportunities, lots of availability of different things, and the faculty are very interactive with the students in mentoring them towards success. So with that, Aisha, I think I'll pass it back to you.
Thank you, Dr. Hussein. A warm welcome. I will now move on to the academic overview of the programs, which will be presented by our members at CHLS. Please note if you have any questions that you write them down in the question and answer section, and we will inshallah answer them in the question and answer session. So now, first we will welcome Dr. George Nimmer, Head of Division of Genomics and Translation Biomedicine, to give us an overview of his division.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. So I'm happy to be with you today to share with you my recent experience in the college. In fact, I am only 1 year old in that college. I'm not that old, although I'm nearing my 50, but I'm very happy to share with you the only 1 year experience that I have at HBKU, specifically at CHLS, and in my division, Genomics and Precision Medicine, a program where we are focusing on building up the leaders of the future who are going to be leaders at all levels. Why you are going to be leaders at low levels? Because I'm going to summarize what it means to have a master's or PhD degrees in genomics and precision medicine. I shall go back a bit in history and summarize what are the basic foundation for the science we are living together now in this era of COVID-19, where everything is focused on genomics and precision medicine. You know that after Einstein, probably the two best discoveries that shape up our world are computational and genomics. The DNA and the computers, in fact, have marked the 20th century and built up the 21st century in what we refer today as bioinformatics. Bioinformatics have really merged these two discoveries into one important field in science and research, where I guess I would be happy to welcome you as new leaders in that field that will shape it till the 22nd century, hopefully, and have more discoveries in the future. Why you would like to come to the divisions of genomics and translational biomedicine? Because we are a unique program in the region. It is the only program in Qatar and the MENA region who is offering this new driving force towards building up science and research. And we made it somehow easier because our program, as we are going to see in the coming slide, is going to be giving you the basic in terms of courses, but offering you the horizon to do research on your own, to use the state-of-art technologies that we have in the college really to become the leaders in the field. Let me summarize for you the programs that we have. So we are offering a master's degree in genomics and precision medicine. It's a relatively very easy program with only 33 credits, whereby you have 5 mandatory foundation courses touching the basis in terms of genetics, genomics, and multiple omics. And we are going to offer you also a vast variety of electives that are going to be related to the specific projects that you are going to be involved in. We are offering a weekly seminar series whereby you are going to be exposed to the latest development in the field. And of course, this requires that you have also a specific project on which you are going to write up your thesis to earn your degree. As for the PhD degree, it's also more or less focused, meaning we are not going to bombard you with information. We are going to require only 1 mandatory foundation course plus a minimum of 5 electives in the various areas where you are going to be conducting your research. Again, the excellency in the program is not only related to the courses that you are giving, but to the facilities, and more importantly, to the best researchers that we have gathered to make your journey easy and successful. And in fact, to have all of this accomplished, we have gathered, or we have researchers from all around the world, but more importantly, the ones who are the actual players. And I'm going to introduce them to you because these are the leaders in the field, and these are going to be your mentors, your teachers, and your role model. We have researchers in the field of diabetes, like Dr. Omar Al-Bagha, researchers in the field of genetics, epigenetics, touching to various diseases, cardiovascular, like Dr. Aborbola Mifsid, and aging, like Dr. Nadi Al-Haj, and the most important fields related in epigenetics, and a way to use a model, an animal model, to work in epigenetics, like the one developed by Dr. Ihsan Pourkarimi in terms of C. elegans as a model. And finally, in order to shape up everything, we have a specialist in bioinformatics and pharmacogenetics, Dr. Jitesh, who is going to be also mentoring you in order to understand how pharmacogenomics is affecting our life. As you can see, all of these are made available for us through specific recruitment that was done by our dean, founding dean, Dr. Stunkel, who really made all the efforts to come up with all these investigators and, more importantly, teachers who are going to be your role model. Is it enough? No, it is not enough. You need also to have all the other logistics, starting with the facilities. We have one of a growing and important facility led by Dr. Muhammad Aitalib, who is supervising the lab in terms of genomics and precision medicine. You can see all the multi-omics that can be used in that era. They are going to be available for you. You are going to be monitored in your developing of your research project, and you are going to see all the information that are in databases. You can manipulate genomic data in terms of understanding how they are linked together. You can look at drug interaction, and then all of this is an environment where we are offering everything needed so that you are going to perform the best out of you. Is it necessary? Yes, it is necessary, but also we are including partners. And the partners are important because in the era of precision medicine, you need to hook yourself with clinicians. This is where we are hooking ourselves with Sidra, with Hamad. And of course, we need to have access to genomic data, and we have a great partnership with Qatar Genome. But more importantly, we are developing, and we have already agreement with international entities, specifically the Institut des Maladies Génétiques in France, Imagine, and we have an agreement with Genomics England to train and help you in your research. With that, I conclude this part on genomic and translational biomedicine. I would like to welcome you abroad. When you decide to join, we are here to make the difference in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nimr, for the very informative presentation. So second, we will go over the program of biological and biomedical sciences with the head of division, Dr. Denaidal Ramater. Can you please start your presentation?
Okay, thank you, Aisha, and good afternoon to everyone. It's a real great pleasure to actually welcome you to our program and tell you what it's all about. In many ways, it's as similar to the genomics and precision medicine, but I'll tell you a bit more detail in a moment. So again, my name is Dindiyal Ramatar, and I'm the head of the Division of Biological and Biomedical Sciences. So what I will do, I will tell you a little about our program, the 2 degrees that we offer, then I'll tell you about the faculty, the members of the faculty, and touch bases with what some of them are actually doing. And then I'll get into some more specific of the types of research that we are actually conducting. Now, I apologize for that. I'm just looking for the slides here. Okay, sorry about that. So we, like the Genomics and Precision Medicine program, we also offer 2 degree programs. One of them is the Master of Science, and it requires that the students finish up in 2 years with 33 credits. So in this program, the students are required to take 5 mandatory or core courses, as well as 3 electives. Now, at the end of these courses, I mean, the students are brought to the lab where they will conduct research for at least 2 semesters, so they can wrap up their thesis and present and have their degree. Now, for the PhD program, it's offered to the students and they can wrap up within 4 to 5 years. Now, they have to achieve at least 54 credits, and for those 54 credits, you'll have to take 3 mandatory foundation courses, as well as 3 elective courses. Now, after that, you come to the lab where you'll conduct research. So you'll spend 6 semesters of research where you'll try to find something original in order to create your dissertation thesis. So in the next slide, I just want to introduce you now to our faculty. So we have 7 members in our division. So Dr. Horn is an assistant professor who works on hearing loss. Dr. Farhan works on fruit fly. He's an assistant professor. Dr. Kabir Biswas works on breast cancer, cell membrane, adhesion, metastasis. We have Dr. Johan Eriksson, who is an associate professor. He works on cholesterol biosynthesis and the related diseases. We have Dr. Ayman, who works also on cardiovascular diseases. And we have Dr. Omar Khan, who works on colorectal cancer. And of course, myself as the head of the division, and I work on anti-cancer drug resistance as well as DNA damage and repair. Now, in our program, all right, so we use various model systems. So we use Baker's yeast, and some of these include Baker's yeast, C. elegans, fruit flies. We also use both cancer cells, normal and abnormal cells or cancer cells. And we also use patient tissues as well to carry out our research. And basically, we're using these models in order to understand how defective genes can lead to various types of diseases or disrupt biological functions. So the questions that we are actually answering currently is, how does a defective gene cause certain types of disease or syndrome? For example, what are the defects that would lead to hearing loss or cause resistance to chemotherapeutic drugs or cause disruption in signal between the brain and the gut, leading to mental and health disorder or genes that will lead to cardiovascular diseases. And so this will lead us to look for new targets where we can treat these types of diseases and look at the same time for new drugs as well. There's also studies where we're looking at how genes will cause defect in the cell membrane, leading to breast cancer metastasis, as well as defect in genes that would lead to a more aggressive form of colorectal cancer. So these types of research are ongoing, and you're welcome to tune in and find out a lot more about the various type of activities that goes on in these research projects. So one thing that I did not highlight here is that we have a very active group working on CRISPR technology, where we can actually edit or delete any particular genes and look at the phenotype or duplicate the type of phenotypes that one would see in a disease or cancer. So in the final slide, I simply want to tell you that we also share the same partnership as the Genomics and Precision Medicine division. So most of our collaborators are at CIDRA, as well as QBRI, Weill Cornell, Qatar Genome, and Imaging as well. So with that, I'd like to thank you and pass you on back to Aisha. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ramater, for the very informative and amazing presentation. So now we will have Dr. Nathan Townsend, the course coordinator of the Masters in Exercise Sciences. I will pass the floor for Dr. Townsend.
Thank you, Aisha, for the introduction. Thank you, everyone, for attending this open house session this evening. I will speak on about the Master of Exercise Science program that we have here at HBKU. It's a very new program. It's the newest program, in fact, in the College of Health and Life Sciences. And as a young program, we're kind of developing at the moment. And I'll just pass on and we'll have a look at the structure of the degree. So in exercise science, currently we just have a master's degree and not a PhD at this point in time like the other two programs. It's a 33 credit point program, and we are building the program to meet the needs of the conditions here in Qatar. So there's a really, really great hub, as you've just seen from the two presentations from Dindial and George's. In the college, we have a really strong college which has great genomics and biological sciences expertise, and that is a direction that we're heading with the exercise science program. So one of the things we're looking at doing is bridging the gap between understanding how exercise and physical activity is associated with omics approaches to analyzing exercise and the effect of exercise. At the moment, I'm the only staff member. Well, I've been the only staff member this year, but we have a couple more staff members coming on. I'm an exercise physiologist, and my area of research interest is in the physiology of low oxygen environments, so how oxygen and hypoxia affect responses to exercise. But we have a new staff member. Her name is Dr. Hind Mansour. She is an epidemiologist in the area of cardiovascular disease, and that's important because then we plan to look at the relationships between physical activity levels and general health and epidemiology in the Qatari population and local population. And we also have a new director of the division will be coming on soon, and he's a biomechanist. So we will be able to look at areas, those of you who may be interested in exercise rehabilitation, in terms of rehabilitation from injuries or neurological diseases or conditions of, say, chronic pain. Low back pain is a very common condition here in Qatar as well. We'll be setting up the research laboratories for each of these types of areas. So right now, we're in the development phase, but we have some really exciting plans moving forward. And we're building some partnerships with local organizations. So Qatar University is one of those. We have some ongoing research collaborations with the exercise science program at Qatar University. Also, Aspetar Sports Medicine Hospital is one of the premier hospitals in the area of sports medicine and musculoskeletal rehabilitation in the region, and we are doing ongoing projects with Aspetar. And the degree is the degree is a joint degree with University of South Carolina. So the University of South Carolina has a master's program which is the #1 ranked program in the United States. And we have partnered with University of South Carolina. And what this means is that students who enroll in the Master of Science degree at HBKU will also they will become enrolled students at South Carolina, and then you will receive some of your tuition through South Carolina, and that may be online tuition, or sometimes we have faculty from the University of South Carolina will come and visit us here in Doha. And hopefully in the future, pending what happens with travel restrictions, there's also the opportunity to actually go to University of South Carolina and do part of your degree there as well. And then what will happen is that you will have a joint degree. So you actually have a degree which is both from University of South Carolina and HBKU. So that's a really unique and exciting aspect of the program that we're proud to be a part of here. And that's it for now. So I think I will hand it back to Aisha. Thank you, everyone. And I hope to see some of you in the future.
Thank you very much, Dr. Townsend, and thank you to all the faculty members for their valuable information. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Muhammad Al-Salat, Enrollment Office, to talk about the admission and application requirements.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, Aisha. My name is Muhammad Al-Salat. I'm the admission specialist here at HBKU. I'm going to talk about admission requirements for the College of Health and Life Sciences and how to gain or to apply and gain admission in the college. So, as told by the faculty before me, we have 3 master's programs and 2 PhD programs. For the bachelor's program, we need 3 master's program and 2 PhD programs. And for the master's programs, we need a bachelor degree with a strong academic record of a minimum of 3 out of 4 GPA from a recognized university. And for the PhD, the master's has to be a minimum of 3 out of 4 from a recognized universities. For the applicants to the master's and PhD programs in genomics and precision medicine or the biological and biomedical sciences, they should have a strong background in science and evidence of coursework in biological or medical sciences. Applicants seeking admission to the master's and exercise science program should have a bachelor degree in exercise science or a related field, for example, biological or biomedical sciences, as well as previous coursework in human anatomy and physiology. There is a requirement of a GRE general test score, which is mandatory for masters in exercise science and PhD applicants. IELTS minimum of 6.5 or a TOEFL score of 79 as a minimum. Exemption is possible if you have studied in English or you are a native speaker. The admission requirements also include that you have to submit an official and complete online application through the website, as you can see here. The academic transcript and grading scale should be provided along with TOEFL scores or IELTS score or the exemption letter by the university that you have studied in, a personal statement or a motivational letter or a statement of intent on why you are applying and what are your objectives from studying and after graduation, on even talking about yourself for a little bit. Passport and ID, so identification documents, the latest CV, minimum of 2 recommendation letters to be sent directly by the referees to recommendations at hbku.edu.qa, a minimum of 3 if you are applying for the Masters in Exercise Science. The deadline for international applicants is February 1st, 2021, and for Qataris and Qatar residents, March 15 of 20 and 21. These are the contact information. If you have questions or extra inquiries that later on, if we did not answer or you did not get a chance to ask here during the session, and the emails that you can find here, along with the website that has most of the information there. And thank you all, and I'll be waiting for you in the question and answer session. It's back to you, Aisha. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Salat. Now we will have the last speaker, Ms. Reem Abdul-Jabbar, who will talk to us about the student affairs.
Thank you, Aisha. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Reem Abdul-Jabbar. I'm the head of student engagement at HBKU. HBKU Student Affairs aims to provide innovative social, sports, residential, and academic support programs and services to achieve targeted HBKU student outcomes, such as student clubs, writing center, health and wellness, career professional sessions, and CV clinic workshops. Now, please allow me to share with you a video of student life services and programs along with our contact lists.
قسم المشاركة الطلابية في إدارة شؤون الطلاب هو أحد الأقسام الداعمة للطلاب في جامعة حمد بن خليفة، والذي يسهم بشكل كبير في دعم الطلاب وإشراكهم وإخراطهم في الأنشطة غير الأكاديمية. هناك أنشطة رياضية، هناك أنشطة ثقافية، هناك أنشطة تعليمية، جميعها تكون خارج المنهج التعليمي، ولكن كلها يصب في النهاية نتائجها تصب في النتيجة التعليمية لكل طالب.
كل سنة الفرق عندنا عددها يكثر. عندنا لحد الآن 6 فرق رياضية، فريق كرة قدم فئة بنين، فريق كرة سلة فئة بنين وبنات، فريق كرة طائرة بنين وبنات، وعندي فريق فئة شباب كريكت.
احنا طبعا نتواصل في إدارة شؤون الطلاب من خلال إدارة التواصل المجتمعي وشؤون الطلاب مع الجامعات الشريكة الموجودة في قطر فاونديشن من خلال ما يسمى بالكارير سيرفيسز اللي هو الخدمات المهنية. قمنا في السابق في موضوع اللي هو المعرض المهني كارير فير. أيضا عملنا في السابق برنامج كان لقادة المجتمع، دعينا فيه معظم رؤساء الشركات وأيضا بعض الوزراء للتعرف على الجامعة وتعريفهم ببرامج الجامعة اللي تطرحها.
احنا في إدارة شؤون الطلاب نهتم خاصة في ناحية العلاقات المجتمعية، كتوقيع اتفاقيات، كزيارة الشركات الخاصة والغير خاصة للتعريف عن جامعة حمد بن خليفة، وتواصل اتفاقيات من ناحية توفير فرص للطلاب أو للخريجين، أو أنك إذا شركات أو القطاع الخاص عندهم مثلا وجهات نظر كالتعاون ممكن احنا نخدمها تحت إطار اتفاقية أو تحت إطار اللي هو تعاون مشترك ويانا.
Thank you so much. So this concludes our session. We will now go through your questions shared for the question and answer session. So looking at the question and answer chat, we can see that some of the questions were answered already by the admission team, and the other question, they're still... So the first question, it's about like the multidisciplinary of the program. So they one of the participants for attendees asked, how is this like, to what extent is the program multidisciplinary, and how can the student like explore, like what is the limit of the exploration? I think Dr. Stankel is like the right one that can help us answer this question.
I'd be happy to, thanks, Isa. I'd be happy to answer that question. So you notice that the curricula requirements for the programs all had electives associated with them. With those electives, you can actually cross from the genomics and precision medicine program into courses that might be in the biological and biomedical sciences program, or even some that might be in the exercise sciences program. So that gives you a lot of opportunities to tune what your interests are and to get the education in things that are going to help promote your research to excel. You also have to remember that the faculty, as I mentioned, aren't within a single discipline, that they're across lots of different disciplines: cardiovascular, cancer, drug discovery, genomics, bioinformatics, epigenetics, all these different fields. And you're going to be interacting with these faculty throughout your time here. And so that gives you all different kinds of information and opportunities to learn from each of them across their different disciplines. So you have multidisciplinary in your electives and in your interactions with the faculty and the students. And then you have to also remember that this is all expanded with our research partners, both our clinical partners and those at research institutes, which offer additional disciplines which you can cross into. Thank you.
Thank you for, very much, Dr. Stankel. Now, one of the questions asks is, are there scholarships for the microbiology field, research in microbiology field? So shall I pass the floor to Dr. Ramater or Dr. Stankel?
I would say that field in particular, the microbiology field, would probably fall within the BBS. And all of the students, once they are offered admission, can then apply for the HBKU scholarships. They are competitive, but we will look and then evaluate the strongest to receive those scholarships. Dr. Ramatar, do you want to add something about this?
No, I think you addressed it perfectly fine. But as you mentioned, there's no specific discipline in microbiology, but it's all incorporated, because what we do as well, we carry out microbiology work. I mean, we use bacteria, you could see it as in the form of microbiology. We work with fungi as well. So you have the opportunity to learn microbiological techniques as well. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Dr. Stankel and Dr. Ramater. One of the questions also asks, like, do you require to be published author before joining the graduate studies program?
I'll answer that one again. I think the best thing is if you have some research experience, right? If you have research experience when you apply, particularly for the PhD, but also somewhat for the master's, that you might have done some undergraduate research while you were getting your bachelor's degree, then you know what you're getting into. It's a little bit risky to get into a 4 or 5 year PhD program if you've never done research, because you don't really know what it's all about. So we do like to have students apply if they have had research. In terms of publishing papers, that's not required for admission, but certainly it strengthens an application. I think the main thing is that you have the right background in biological and biomedical sciences, genetics, those kinds of things, or you also have some knowledge of what the research experience is like.
Thank you very much, Dr. Stankel. So now we will move to the questions that are mostly like for the admission team. Many are asking about the GRE exam, like is it required for PhD and all PhD degrees, and which type of GRE? And also they're asking about the IELTS grade. Is it required for applying for the programs?
Okay, so for the GRE that is required is the GRE general test. One of the questions was what's the score that is required for GRE? What's the minimum score? Well, to be frank, there is no minimum score that is suggested by us, but what we recommend is that you do the best you can, because we have, let's say, an average score that is gained by those who got admitted, and it's about 155, between 150 and 155. So the higher you gain, the better it is for you as an applicant. For IELTS and TOEFL, is it? And also, one of the questions for Jerry, that is it mandatory for PhD? Yes, it is mandatory. You cannot be exempted from GRE. It's also mandatory for the masters in Master of Science in Exercise Science, as per a requisite from University of South Carolina. For IELTS and TOEFL, you can be exempted by offering us a letter as a proof from the university that you studied in, that the language of study was English, or that the applicant himself or herself is a native speaker of English.
Thank you so much, Mr. Also, there is a question about applicant or applicants to the master's program, do they have to leave work so they can join the master's program? And actually, many questions also about the HBKU scholarship. Like, is there a scholarship for prospective student?
So I can put in a few words on work and the master's program. No, you do not have to leave your job if you are entering into the master's program. You should be, because a lot of the classes for the master's start at 4 p.m. and then run into the evening. So that usually works fine with those people who are working during the day. I will say, though, that you will be taking a lot of classes, right, each semester during the master's program, except for the last semester. And so you have to be able to fulfill the requirements of the homework and the tests and the exams. So it's good to make sure that you're in a status where you can contribute the effort that's required to excel in this. And certainly we are very supportive of those people in the master's program who are working, but we do have an excellent standard that we try to maintain. So it's not a problem with the master's program. I think for the PhD, that is more of a full-time research, and it's probably best not to have a job, at least in years beyond the first.
Thank you, Dr. Sankel. Also about the HBKU scholarship, one of the attendees asking about the HBKU scholarship.
Okay, I guess I can answer that one again. Since I don't hear Dr. Nemmer or Dr. Ramator speaking up here. The HBKU scholarships are competitive, and it depends on what they cover. That maybe is what the question is about. They cover 80% of your tuition currently, and if you are not employed, then they provide a stipend. If you are international, then they can also cover the housing. So depending upon your particular status, if you are awarded from HBKU, it will cover your tuition, and then the other two, the stipend and housing, depend upon your particular status. Does that answer the question? I guess so.
I believe yes.
Okay.
Also, one of the questions are asking about or more than of the attendees, they asked about their background or bachelor degree. Some of them are in nutrition, some of them are in biotechnology, some of them they have doctor of physical therapy, and they are asking can they apply for a program or a master program? What is the required degree in order to be admitted in any of the programs that they are interested in? Is there a certain limitation on their bachelor degree?
Okay, maybe let me answer this. We are welcoming everybody with a biological, chemistry, or even physics, computational background at the level of the master's program. And for the PhD, we're also open to any of these, backgrounds. But again, to get into the PhD program, you should have a master's degree. If you don't have a master's degree, it's going to be unlikely that you will be admitted to the PhD program. For the master's program, we are looking at the vast spectrum in biological sciences, chemistry, physics, computer science, etc.
Thank you, Dr. George. Also they're asking mostly about what guarantees them that they will be accepted or admitted into the program, because some of them applied and they did not get accepted.
Okay, let me handle it again. So I guess we are looking at the best. So we are recruiting excellent students to be leaders. So even if you are not accepted, you've been evaluated using the best criteria, so to get the top of the list. So if you don't make it the first year, you'll still have a chance to make it the second year if the competition is less than the first year. But be sure that you are fair in evaluation and you are getting the top to be the top and to be the leaders. Thank you.
Thank you. Also, one of the questions are asking about the number of science papers that they have to publish as a first author or second author.
I can address that one. For the master students, the main publication will be their thesis work, what they have done research on, what they write up, and what they defend. For the PhD students, HBKU, and this is not specific to this College of Health and Life Science, it's for all PhD programs at HBKU, the students are required to have 2 publications. Those publications are supposed to be related to their dissertation research work. They can be first author on those 2 publications, or they can be, if it's a research publication that they co-authored with another person, so they're sharing first authorship, that is also okay. But this is also something that you have to remember helps you to excel and helps you to move into the best positions postgraduate work, that you have been productive and that you've shown this to prospective employers. So it's a good thing that we have that kind of a requirement. And like I said, the college works together to try and make all of its students successful in that endeavor.
Thank you, Dr. Stankel. Also, one of the questions is about actually question. Do they have to write a research proposal to get into the program, or for joining the program, the master's or PhD?
Actually, I'll just say, I'm sorry I'm the one who's always talking, but I would like to say a couple things on this. If you're going to apply, right, and you get admitted, then it's a very good thing. If you're a long-term resident or a Qatari, then it's a good thing to apply for a GSRA grant from QNRF, because that gives you a nice set of funding to help conduct your studies here at HBKU. So we would definitely support somebody writing one of those kinds of grants. You can link up to one of our faculty and they can help you in constructing that and putting it forward after you're admitted, but before you actually enter into the university. Also, once you're in the university, we like to see you participate in those kinds of research grants as well as students who might be working with faculty who have research grants. I forgot what the other part of that question was. What was the second part, Aisha? Do they have to write a research proposal? So while you're in the program, oftentimes
there are more questions about.
When you're in the program, if you're in the PhD program, then you will write a research proposal as part of your candidacy exam that then allows you to conduct that for your research project towards a PhD.
Thank you again, Dr. Stankel. So also they're asking about like the possible opportunities, like after they finish the program in HBKU, can they guarantee an opportunity in QBRI or in HBKU again? And also they're asking about the partnership with Harvard Stem Cells Institute. Like how is it for HBKU and HBKU students? And also like we have a question about like the opportunity for international students, like how is it for them? Can they like have a scholarship? As you mentioned already about the QNRF, but maybe they want to clarify more about like how is it for them?
I can answer the last question first. The last question was about the scholarships for international students, right? And certainly international students can apply for the HBKU scholarships. We generally try to get about, in the past, 30% of our students as international students, 30% as Qataris, and 30% residents. So that's sort of the distribution that we shoot for. It varies from year to year depending upon the strength of the applications from each of those categories. What was your first question, Aisha? I've forgotten.
It was about like the possible opportunities for the graduate.
Oh, job opportunities, yeah. That's what we're all keen about. What are we going to do when we finish and get this degree? Am I going to get a job and all of those kinds of things? That's a big stressor for everyone. I can tell you that we can't guarantee employment. I think no educational institution can guarantee that you will be employed. However, we find that most of our graduates are sought after and employed. You have to remember that you carry with you skills. You carry with you the skills of analytics, of communication, both oral and written, problem solving, how to conduct projects. And these are the kinds of skills that you can carry into lots of different job opportunities and are sought by others. For example, PhDs are often very highly sought because they have those skills, even though it might be something different than what they did their research project on. But no, we cannot guarantee that you will get into a research institute or into a clinical center. But we aim our programs to fill the niches that are present within Qatar in terms of we don't just graduate people for things to get them degrees, we graduate to fill the needs of Qatar. So the job opportunities are generally present.
If I may add to it, for sharing from my own experience, to really find a job and a suitable job, often employers look for the most productive person. And so if you're very productive during your career, there is a chance to be employed in wherever you want to go.
Thank you so much, Dr. Stankel and Dr. Ramater. So one of the last questions, they're asking about like the number of seats available and the programs.
Okay, I guess I can put in my first answer to this. So generally, there are between 7 and 10 seats in each program for both the master's and the PhD, okay? The exact number depends upon the quality and the funding for that year, but generally it'll be between 7 and 10 students for each master's program. So with 3 master's program, that'll be, right, 21 to 30 students, and then for the PhD programs, again, 7 to 10, so that's 20 more, 14 to 20 students.
And one of the questions are asking about the accreditation about the PhD program. Is it accredited globally or not?
Yeah, so I'll answer that too. Currently, our programs are not accredited by a international unit. They are recognized by the Ministry of Education and Higher Education here in Qatar. I think the most important thing in graduate education, even though accreditation is very valuable, the most important thing is your productivity. When you get your PhD, they're not necessarily going to be looking at whether you are accredited, but they're going to look at what skills do you have and how productive have you been, right? How creative, how innovative, how communicative, how problem solving. Those are the kinds of things that employers are looking for. Now, I will say that HBKU is embarking on getting towards accreditation as a university, and we are certainly meeting all of those standards currently to move forward in that way.
Thank you so much, Dr. Stankel. So I'm just looking over the questions again to make sure that we answered most of them. So most of the questions are actually for the admission team. And Mr. Muhammad did an amazing job also. Dr. Stankel, thank you for answering all the questions. So what do you advise, like a general advice for the interested applicants for the program? Like for each program, can each please give us like an advice for the future candidates?
I'll say a couple of things. I mean, the earlier you apply, the better it is. Remember, we're looking for the most competitive students who has a background into our program. Those are the ones who get top preference, right? It's best to have that background because it makes your life easier to understand the concept that we're actually going to share with you. If you're coming from a completely different background, then you'll have to take the electives, which you'll have to invest more time in taking courses to catch up.
Let me say that, if you want to join the lead of the elites, you need to like or love what you want or what you want to have as a career. So for the applicants, I say, go with your heart, the skies are your limit, and we are here to help, to offer the best education, the best research facilities to make your life easy so that you can make life easier for the generations to come.
And just to echo the same thing, same sentiments regarding exercise science is that, it's not an undergraduate degree. There is a degree of prerequisite and prior knowledge that is required. So the students that will be favoured will be the ones that have perhaps some background in exercise science at another institution, or have studied some physical therapy or human physiology or human biology. We would tend to give preferences to those students as well.
Thank you very much for all the faculty. I would like to ask Mr. Muhammad Salah to give just an overview for all the future applicants, because we have many concerns actually about the admission requirements. So can you just please give us a wrap about the admission requirements?
Thank you, Aisha. So, as mentioned before,
So in the final
requirements for the applications, the first, you have to do the application online. It will include your personal information, and it will ask you to provide the following documents. It will ask you to provide which are mark sheets, because I had one of the questions. It will ask you if you have done research, you can upload it. If not, it's not the end of the world. You can still apply. IELTS or TOEFL, it's for those who have studied in a different language other than English. If you have studied in English, we would require a letter of proof from your university, or we are aware, actually, for most of the universities, which universities are teaching in English, because we had thousands of applications during the previous years, and we are aware of most of the universities and which language they are teaching. GRE is mandatory for PhD and for the Master of Science in Exercise Science. There is no exemption from the GRE. There is no minimum grade for it, but the average is above 150. As the faculty have mentioned, we have accepted the elite, and we aim to always choose the elite, because we are building future leaders. We are making future leaders. So we expect that those who are applying are the elite, and we will choose the elite. So you need to have a good GRE score. Do not take the GRE lightly. For those who are applying for masters, GRE is not mandatory. However, it is recommended. Unless it is for the Master of Science in Exercise Science, it is mandatory. For those who have studied in different fields, as mentioned before, we require that the fields are relevant, and you can apply to either program, and you can gain admission. It's not that it has to be a specific field. It has to be relative to that. And there is one of the questions, Dr. Strankel, about the university, and how is it internationally? Is it what's the word I'm looking for?
Accredited?
Yeah, sorry for the accreditation. Sorry, is it accredited? This is the question that we get every year, I guess. So if you can answer that just briefly for those who are asking.
So the College of Health and Life Sciences itself is not accredited by an international organization at this point. The one program that has a part of accreditation is the Masters of Science in Exercise Science, because the University of South Carolina is fully accredited. And as that is a joint degree, then, even though they're falling into part of an accredited program. The other programs, again, are not accredited by an international organization at this point, but HBKU is moving towards that accreditation, and the college is operating under the conditions for its program learning objectives and its student educational objectives to achieve and match with the accreditation standards. Again, I think the most important thing to realize if you're going for the PhD, that when you graduate, it's going to be for your employment opportunities. It's going to be mostly on how productive you are, how good of an analytical thinking and problem solving you can do, how well you communicate. And that's really important in getting the employment. HBKU is recognized by the Ministry of Education and Higher Education as a premier institution.
So I think this will wrap all the questions. So thank you all for your questions and for attending this session. I wish you the best of luck. However, now at the end, I just want to emphasize that we have some of the slides that we want to go over. This is the contact information of the Student Affairs in HBKU that Mrs. Rima Al Abdel Jabbar wanted to present. And I just wanted to highlight that all this amazing work in the CHLS and HBKU is possible with the help of the great assistant, Mrs. Malika. And I would like pass the floor for her to introduce herself.
Hi everyone, I hope you enjoyed this wonderful session and it answered all your queries. Every year we receive numerous applications from bright minds like yours and future leaders and change makers that you are. I will be your primary contact at CHLS to support you in best means possible, as I'm sure you will have many more questions even later at every stage. Looking forward to a rewarding interaction with all of you, making CHLS your place of knowledge and happiness. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Malika, and I think I will leave the ending for the Dean, Dr. Edward Stunkel. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Aisha. Again, let me say thank you to all of you who attended this event, this open house. We look forward to interacting with you and supporting you. If you put your applications in, we will do a fair evaluation of those applications, and we look forward to them. If you have questions about the program or about research that goes on in the college, please feel free to visit our website. There you will notice all of our faculty and the different research that they conduct, and there are email accounts in which you can contact them and ask them about the types of research that you might be interested in. I think personal contacts like this is always valuable for you to both understand what is offered here and also to get a feeling about how things work here at the College of Health and Life Sciences and whether it would be a good environment for you to enter into. Again, we look forward to you applying, gathering the information, and hopefully we'll see you soon gathering the information 2021. Thank you very much.